right. It's right at 2 o'clock. We'll give you a couple more minutes to get people in here. But hey, just while we are doing this, we've been talking about what we can do to get more people to these calls. And I think we are going to end up changing the time and day of these calls to piggyback off of some of the other calls a lot of our community members might be on, like Grow or Connect. I think the Connect call, I was on a Connect call the other day and there were almost 400 people on it. So if we could piggyback off of that, one of those calls, then I think we get a lot more people to these calls. And it's fine because these calls are recorded and people end up watching them later. But it would be a little bit nicer if we could get people on here live. That way people can ask questions and we can, answer some of those questions live. Speaking of, if you do have any questions, make sure you hit them up in the chat. We've got people right here who can answer those questions for you. I don't really read the questions while I'm going through my updates, and so we'll get others to answer those questions. Plus, as I was explaining to the team here, I'm not wearing my glasses, so I have a contact lens, one end that lets me see far, one that lets me see close because I'm 50 and I'm old and I'm falling apart. And so it's the perfect range where I can't see is computer screen range. I can see great here and I can see great, across my house, but I can't see the computer. It's all very blurry. So you're going to see me leaning in a lot like this when I'm going to share my screen. That's because I just happen to be at that old man range where I can't see the most important things. So we'll go ahead and get kicked off here. It's 2 minutes after. Thank you guys for joining us. Let's see. We have 13 people. I'll try not to get that close. You guys don't need to. You don't need any closer view of my ugly mug. So we'll 13 people. That's down from 17 people last week. And so again, we are going to change this time. We realize that a lot of you guys have multiple meetings. It is the middle of the day for a lot of you guys, but we do have a worldwide audience. And just go ahead and end up watching it. We end up getting a couple hundred views on the ones that we put up on YouTube. I don't know. Did I exaggerate that, Paul? How many views do we get on some of these?
Sometimes it's like 100. Sometimes it's up to 200. Right. So like it ranges.
Well, we'll get there. It's fine. As long as the information is out there and people can access it. I just get so many phone calls saying, hey, what's going on with ELMT? I'm like, bro, we got meetings and they're recorded. Jump on and let's make sure everybody knows where to find this information. So, okay, let's go ahead and get cracking here. A couple things that we want to talk about is this call. So not only are we have some announcements. We're going to be changing the time and the date of this call so that more people can join. And again, we'll piggyback off of some bigger events like Grow events or Rally, but most likely it'll be after a Connect event. And I'll put it in the chat and I'll say, okay, for all you guys who are on here, jump right on over to our community update. Some of you guys have no idea what Connect is, and that's great. Don't worry about it. It's just a group of node buyers that all come together and blah, blah, blah. But if you don't know anything about Connect, don't worry about it. But for those of you who are going to be on some of those Connect calls, look for us to follow that call, and we'll just kind of piggyback off of them. Next, we're going to be changing the platform. One of the things I hate the most is this thing called Teams. I hate Teams. For some reason, Teams hates me worse. And I can never get on. Sometimes I can't turn my camera on. Sometimes
this is Scott's most exciting announcement to him.
Oh, yeah.
We are changing Teams.
Yeah. I have threatened anybody that ever schedules me a team meeting is immediately fired. I've been threatening that for a long time, so it's not really working. But yeah, so we're going to be switching over to Rally, R-Link. You guys know what R-Link, some of you guys know what R-Link is, and so we're going to use R-Link. They are a partner company of ours. They have an amazing service, amazing products. They're doing a massive event out in Fort Lauderdale starting tomorrow and Friday. So maybe some of you guys are even out there for the R-Link event. So we're going to start using R-Link. I think that'll help us as well to get more people on, because a lot of people in the crypto community are using R-Link instead of Zoom or Teams. And so that'll be fun. Next big announcement is that we have a group of guests lined up to join these calls. So you don't just have to hear us every week. We want you guys to see who we're dealing with. Briefly, a couple months ago, I brought on Mitch Burton. He's one of the big community members that's putting a lot of money into the community side of things with market support and all the fun stuff that he's going to be doing. We want you to meet the people that we talk about, so everything's not just behind the scenes. We have big partnerships that we've been working on, that we've been we've had some of these partnerships for years, but now some, we'll go make relationships, and sometimes it gets put on the shelf, or sometimes because a lot of the projects that we work on take a long time, like a mining project, we'll go cut a deal and then it'll just kind of sit there for a while, or we'll go visit them, and then all of a sudden they pop back up and there's a lot of action happening. And that's what's happening right now. A lot of you guys know about the mine that we have out in Tanzania. We have ownership in this mine from a gentleman named Jay Peters. We've been out there to his home in St. Louis. We've been out there to his mine in Tanzania. And he's got a lot of incredible things happening right now. He's in between two of the biggest mines in the world as far as companies, Barrick, Newmont, and his mine's right in the middle. It's 100,000 hectares. And I think 1 hectare is like 2.2 acres or something silly like that. So it's a massive, massive site. We, in exchange for these awesome nodes that most of you guys are running, did a deal with him. We said, we're going to give you X number of nodes and you're going to give us a percentage of this mine. Well, guess what? There are exciting things happening on this mine. He just did a really, really big raise. He's got a lot of partners coming in. He's getting offers to purchase his mine. And because he's doing so many great things, he has 19 more mines coming on. And so we're obviously, being in the mining space, trying to do cool things in the mining community. We are working closely with him, and we want to cut a deal with him for these next 19 mines. So Jay has agreed to come on in 2 weeks. And so he just landed in Tanzania today. I was messaging him through Signal earlier today. And I said, hey, can you come on today? He's like, I just landed. He's like, maybe I can talk on the phone. But we said, no, let's get you on here where we can get some video. And so we'll have him on here in 2 weeks to talk about the exciting things that we're doing with him. Initially, when we started off with Jay, it was, we're going to give you some nodes. You're going to give us some ownership, and we're going to do some cool things with your mine. And the presentation that we initially gave him is, what if we could make you money on your mine without you ever mining it? And that always is the intriguing question that we talk about with these mines. And they say, okay, how? And we say, well, what if we gamified through a game your gold mine? What if we created a carbon credit project that you made a lot of money off of? And we put carbon credits on the blockchain, and we created these carbon credits on your mine. And then what if you were running some of our nodes and you were mining ELMT rather than pulling gold up out of the ground? And they go, wow, that's awesome. And so Jay has a lot of ELMT. He's excited for the future. He's excited for what's happening. And we're excited because of all the mining projects that Jay is bringing on. As you guys know, we are trying to change the mining world. We're trying to clean up mining, make sure that people only buy from ethical sources, and that you prove the ethical nature of these mines on the blockchain through NFTs, through certifications. Those are the products that we build. And so when we bring on mining projects, that really helps us with our products. It allows us to have a supply of gold, silver, whatever's being mined, that we can track from the mine all the way up to the consumer, and it helps us to certify these mines. And so working with mining projects is very critical to what we do as a company, because it allows us to make the changes that we all know need to happen. And so if we can work with a guy like Jay, we get them all certified, NFT'd, anybody can see that he's mining ethically, that he's paying fair wages, and that he's doing incredible good things for the people, because that's really where Jay's heart is. Jay really wants to do good things. In fact, the only reason Jay got these mines is because he's provided over 1 million meals to the people of Tanzania. And so that's how he's just perfect for us. And so really fun and exciting things coming up with Jay. We're excited to see where things go, whether he takes an offer on his mine or whether we end up mining it. He's raised some good money, and so things are exciting. So we want you guys to hear about these exciting things. We want you to know that when we go make these partnerships that we made 3 years ago, that these are real, because I know we talk about these big things and then everybody goes, hey, you mentioned so-and-so a long time ago. Whatever happened with that? So like I mentioned, some of the deals that we do take a long time. And so Jay has come back around now. We're excited to be working with him, and we're going to bring him on next week to be talking about all the fun things that we're going to be doing together. So he's a great guy. You guys are going to love him. Next, So we talk about the mines, where it all starts, right? That's allows us to create products that allow us to improve these mines and to certify these mines and to hopefully create a big customer base for them, because everybody's only going to want to buy from mines that are element certified. The next part of that thing, the other side of that coin, which is more on the blockchain side, is the token. Everybody asks the question. So I happen to be with I'll call him a regulator. Okay. It was actually, I was at a boys camp, scout camp, not really scout, but a church thing with my son, and he was one of the dads that was there, and he's been big in the crypto regulation side, more like on the enforcement side. And we talked about the Element project, and I said, okay, you've been heavily involved in these types of crypto projects from the regulatory side. I said, this is what we're doing. And he freaking loved it. And you know what he loved the most about it? Because he said, there are things you can do with the ELMT token. He said, that is what's going to keep you safe. And that's what's going to make your project awesome, because now you don't have a bunch of people who are just sitting there waiting for the token to go up. You have people that can actually do something with the token. So what have we been working on? We've been working on the ability to take that ELMT and do something with it. Okay. So as you guys have all heard before, we are trying to create a worldwide revolution on how to buy gold and silver that's been ethically sourced as cheap as possible by using the Element token to purchase it. So what do you need to do? You got to have a few pieces in place. One of the things that's most critical is you have to have a gold supplier willing to accept ELMT for their gold. And we've got that. We've got a guy that we're working with a local company here. So in 2 weeks, we have Jay coming on. In 4 weeks on our next call, we're going to have Abe come on, talk about his company, what they do, how they operate. He's big in the crypto space as well, and how you can use ELMT to buy his gold and silver. Now, the good thing about that is that when you go get ELMT and you spend it with Abe and buy his gold and silver, you are going to get a rebate in ELMT. So let's just say you had $1,000 worth of ELMT and you're going to go spend it with Abe. You're going to get your gold shipped from Abe. Then I'm going to give you 5% rebate back in ELMT. So now that just makes, and gold margins are very tight. They're very small. Like when I was mining out in Ghana and I wanted to go sell my gold, I got a 2% under London spot price. And everybody knew exactly what London spot was. And sometimes we'd wait a few days for the gold price to go up, and then we go sell, make a little bit more money. So the gold business operates on a very slim margin. So if you can get 5% back, that's a game changer. That's revolutionary. Now, what if we have tens of thousands of people coming in and buying gold every day using ELMT? Where are they going to go get the ELMT? They're going to go get it out of the market. They're going to go get it and buy out of the market. And so that just based on, I'm not, again, I have to preface this, I'm not making earnings claims, but just the fact that a lot of people could be going into the market to buy ELMT, to buy gold, that puts upward pressure on the ELMT token. But more importantly, it gives people something to do. So if I can, let's just say I have a whole bunch of ELMT that I'm sitting on right now, I go buy, and then I'm gonna get ELMT back. And then I go sell my gold, for 2%, I just made 3%. So there's some really cool things built into this. And we're going to be working with a lot of gold partners, because if we're going to start this revolution and make it cheap to buy gold and silver using the ELMT token, you got to have a lot of guys. Abe's not going to be able to handle all this. We're going to have to work with quite a few different retailers and gold companies. And so we're going to bring on one of our partners. He's going to talk about it. And this is all really exciting stuff. We're going to be, building a little link between us and him, and there'll be some really, really fun things happening. So we'll bring on, as we bring on these partners, there's another jewelry partner that's also going to be accepting ELMT. We'll bring them on. They can talk about how you can buy their jewelry. They don't sell bullion or anything. It's just jewelry, how you can buy jewelry using the ELMT token again and receive a discount. And so really cool things that we're working on. We've been in build mode for a long time, kind of heads down, just trying to, work as hard as we can on getting ready, because, I think I spend a little bit too much time studying the potentially incoming altcoin run, right? We're considered an altcoin. And so everybody I follow on Twitter, everybody, you know, we read about this, and we're trying to be in a position so that when the eyes of the world are upon us, we are ready, not only with product, but with marketing, with our messaging, all of that cool stuff. And so obviously keeping you guys informed, because you guys are the ones that came in early and bought nodes, is most important to us. So we're going to bring on a lot of these folks. One of the things I'm going to be doing in anticipation to be ready for our you know, worldwide coming out party, I guess, if we're being dramatic, I'm going to be doing a lot more podcast. I'm going to be getting out there a lot more. We've just engaged with a group out of Colorado that's going to be doing a whole bunch of stuff for us on the social media side. You know, so then when someone goes in there and they say, hey, what's all this element about? They can see that there's a whole bunch of stuff out there, that we've been on all the right podcasts, that we're with all the right KOLs and influencers, and that there's already buzz around us. So all that's coming as well. Speaking of getting out there, we're engaged. So there's certain things that we do to talk about the products that our company does. But when it comes to anything token related, that's all community driven. And the community has some really, really cool stuff lined up. But, you know, they'll come back to me and they'll say, okay, Scott, you know, look, here's what I recommend. You need to do this or do that, you know, from your public facing stuff. For example, the website. Okay. The website is coming. We're going to be changing up the website a little bit. Paul has been working diligently. Paul, Amy, Allie, some of the rest of the crew has been working really, really hard on making this front-facing exposure to Element United, you know, a little bit easier to understand. We're going to be doing a kind of an explanation of what Element is, and we're going to NFT it. You can buy that NFT for $10. And if you buy the NFT for $10, we're going to give you $20 worth of ELMT. So yeah, if you want to double up your ELMT, buy our little, not quite a manifesto. If any of you guys are familiar with Green, they did the same thing and sold quite a few of those. And so we have a little $10 NFT coming out, and it's going to give you $20 worth of ELMT, but it's going to give you a really clear roadmap of who we are, what we're doing, where we're going. And so it's going to be really cool. We are also putting together a board of advisors. We're putting a mining board, a crypto board, and just a business board. There'll be some good names on there. Some of you guys will recognize, especially on the mining side. I won't spoil it, but if there's a famous gold miner that you might be able to think of, we're trying to get them on. And then there's some mining experts. Jay, we're hoping to join our board, and then we'll have some folks in the crypto space and just folks who are really just good at business. And so when people go to the website and they go, it's not just, you know, Scott in his basement. This is these guys have some really big firepower behind them, which is what we're working on. So those are, and again, I know that the updates are mostly what's coming from this forum, this broadcast, this update that we do, but it's all designed to give you guys the proof of what we're working on, and to meet the people behind the curtain, to meet the people that we always vaguely allude to, or in some cases use their names. But we want you guys to know these are real relationships, these are real people, these are real deals that we've done, that we've been doing. And we want everybody to watch this and go, great, look who these guys have put together, and look at the deals they're doing. And we want to bring them to you live and some of these calls. So Paul, let's go ahead and kick it over to you. I hope I didn't cover anything you were going to cover. I might have.
No, that's totally fine. Like you've already mentioned, you know, next, just be looking out for that. You know, as we transition over to our link, I'll be updating all of our links, and I'll send out an email with all that information. Like you also mentioned, we do have the Element website ready. We've had some hiccups with our domain, but just be on the lookout for that. And we also wanted to just touch base again on the Element Pinball Swap event and how that's going. Allie, did you want to comment on that?
Yeah, we're just super excited about all the swapping that's happening. We're seeing lots of traffic in there. It's pretty cool. If you haven't checked out our pinball page, Paul, if you can drop that URL in the chat, it's pretty fun. Check out the leaderboard. Right now, Rosica is basically dominating everyone. I don't know if anyone can take away the lead from them, but give it a shot. We'd love to see you try. So it's pretty fun. It updates every Friday. So we'll see who's at the top of the list this week.
Yes. Yeah, we do update it every Friday, and yeah, it's been really cool. If you guys haven't already swapped yet, we highly recommend going and testing it out. I
And
did
share
create
with
a
a friend.
how-to.
Get some new people in there.
Yeah, I have created a how-to swap and how to participate in everything. It's on the landing page. It's also on our YouTube. So if you're confused at all, just go watch that and you can go swap. Other than that, I think you really did cover most of it, Scott,
Okay.
because we did, we do want to try and test a new time and date with our calls and see if we can get more people on. And yeah.
And one of the things we talked about earlier before you guys all jumped on is we're going to eventually get back to once a week. Things are moving quickly, catching up steam. I think we will end up going back at some point in the very near future to a weekly call. Because now that we're going to be out there a lot more and there'll be a lot more happening on the community side, we'll probably end up bringing on more members of the community to talk more about the ELMT side. Just because I know that's going to be, things right now, obviously, as a company, the only thing I focus on are products. But there's also a lot of interest. And so we might combine the two. We'll have to check with legal on that if they would let us talk about the business side and then the blockchain side on the same call, just because we don't want there to be any sort of, compliance issues with us talking about the token when it's not us that does the token, it's the blockchain that does the token. So we'll see. But if we can, I think it'd be great. We just do both of those back to back, bring on certain members. We brought on a community member a few weeks ago, Scott Touchton, to talk a little bit about, how to swap and buy it and all that kind of stuff. Maybe we'll do a little bit more of that because I think a lot more people will be coming in, buying the token, wanting to know how do I hook it up to a MetaMask account, all that we can do, things like that. Well, we have members of the community on it if the legal department deems it enough of a separation, because we're trying to be as compliant as we can. So look forward for more information from us coming soon. The website will probably website will be up obviously before the next call that we have here. So our summer lineup is awesome. I feel like we're promoting concerts. We got an exciting summer lineup. Like, we're going to have some really, really cool people coming on to talk about the deals we're doing, the relationships. These are all partners of Element United. And we want to show you who they are and some of the really cool stuff. I haven't mentioned some of the things that are happening behind the scenes with some of these partners because they're awesome. But sometimes on the business side, I don't want to, if they want to talk about what we're working on, great, but I won't unless they feel comfortable talking about kind of like, for example, with Jay, some of the stuff that's happening on the Tanzania mine, things like that. If he wants to mention it, we'll let him mention it. But there's fantastic things happening. We're always talking to new people about one of the big things, obviously, is the tokenization aspect of it. We've been working hard to be able to, with our layer 1 blockchain, to bring on other projects that will use the Element blockchain for their own tokens. And so we're in talks with 6 or 7 different companies that want their own tokenization. Our dev team is making a change. And so the reason why we haven't gone out and just tokenized, because we can tokenize something in 40 hours, but we have a new platform that we're building that makes it a lot easier for people to tokenize and have it, integrate with the price of gold in real time, the price of oil. And so we're building some things in the back end to make it easier for people to use us as their layer 1 to create tokens for their own in-ground assets. And so there's a lot of things we could talk about, but again, we'll probably just wait to talk about things as they happen, which is right now why we're bringing on guests, because all these things are happening and happening fast. And as more and more things happen, then we'll probably go back to once a week so that we can just say, okay, here's our new partner, here's another new partner, here's just to keep things going and keep things exciting and really wake up the Element community. The Element community has been in hibernation, and we need to wake the freak up because things are going good. So anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. Look for if we can start piggybacking on the next one. Either way, we'll let you know. However you guys find out, the emails that Paul and everybody sends out, we'll make sure you guys know exactly when the next call is going to be so nobody misses it. But if you do, you can always find these on YouTube. Our weekly or bi-weekly updates are always posted there as well. So on behalf of the whole Element team, thank you guys. Appreciate you guys always jumping on here. And let's look forward to a bunch of exciting updates all summer. Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks.